so many different.
Recording in progress.
So with video marketing, I mean, the fact that you can record one video, place it on a whole bunch of different platforms, but then you can also utilize it in an email. Like there is no other type of marketing, graphic design that you can do that without having to like fundamentally augment what it is. Okay. So like if you're building things in Canva, you would have to build something that fits inside of a square for social media. And then really even the square doesn't work anymore. So sometimes you have to build like a portrait mode. And then another things you have to build a landscape. And then for an email, you have to have something that fits a frame. So you just have to make so many changes. Whereas video, you film it once, it's the same setup, the same size, and you can just post it everywhere. Right. So with this, I think I have one other person that just texted me. Yep. All right. Someone else will be dropping in a second here, but it is recorded. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So what we need to do is we need to open up the marketing bot that we built in the first day, 2 days of this session here. So ours is called my Keller Williams marketing bot. And I have a couple of little shortcuts here. You can see create a 30-day South Hills content calendar, write 8 real scripts for move-up buyers, turn my story into an about me and Instagram bio and website intro, and draft a buy sell at the same time guide and a lead magnet email. So this is when we go into the question was, how do you create these little shortcuts? And the shortcuts are actually, you can find them in a couple places. I'll show you this drop down. If you click that and you go to your edit GPT, you'll see that if we go to the little configure tab and we just scroll down a little bit, it's called conversation starters.
Okay.
All right. And ChatGPT likes to add this automatically if you start just clicking around. I mean, you can add it if you want to. It's just, it's literally just a shortcut. You don't have to.
And how do you get them on your screen?
So it automatically populates it on this. So as soon as you can see right here. Oh, yep. As soon as you start typing in here, create a 30-day South Hills content calendar, it adds it as the pop-up on your GPT. All right. And again, it is simply a shortcut. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to create our 30-day plan. And we've given it enough information with our questionnaire where we don't have to do much prompting. Whereas, even a year ago, I would have told you that you would have to write this very, very, very long prompt to tell it to do exactly what you wanted to do. You'd have to add additional information about yourself. I mean, on and on and on and on. But thankfully, because we've filled out that questionnaire before, we literally just have to prompt it to give us what we need. And that's easy, right? Big difference from what it used to be. Now, yeah.
It's class. You're good to go.
Oh, it is? Okay, it's on. Okay, good. Okay. We'll still be right around 11 o'clock by the time we get out of here, so we'll be good there. Now, what we want to do is, we can click this 30-day South Hills content calendar button. Yours might look different than mine. It may not even be on there. But what I like to do is just ask it to do a very specific thing. I'm going to tell it to create a 30-day content calendar based on my questionnaire. All right, very simple. And then what I also want to prompt it is give me the responses 1 week at a time so we can make corrections week by week. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit enter after we've typed that in. And the main point of that is that if you ask it for a 30-day content calendar, it is going to give you a 20-page 30-day content calendar. And if you notice there's multiple things that you want to change, you're going to have to read through the entire thing. And it's just a nightmare, right, in terms of time and productivity. So I like to ask it for a week at a time. So I'm able to go through and see like, okay, within the first week, are we hitting the right things? Are we hitting the right goals? Are we making sure like our tone is okay? Does the content seem like it actually makes sense for me? And then we, keep building off of that. So if we like everything in the first week, then great, we'll ask it to generate the second week. One thing that we do notice, so let's read this response here. So It says, awesome. We'll build a 30-day content calendar in 4 weeks, week one now. I'm assuming Instagram is Facebook as the primary channels with 3 to 4 value posts per week, plus some light stories. If you want TikTok and LinkedIn too, we can adapt that later. All right. I'm okay with that because that is probably where my primary marketing channels are going to be. With TikTok, I mean, you could probably use the same content. Yes.
It says that I don't have your questionnaire text visible in this chat.
Okay. That may be an issue with like the upload. If you go and click,
So I'll say edit.
yeah, go to edit and then see if it's in your upload section. So the question was, someone got a response saying that they cannot find the questionnaire.
So what do you want me to see? It's like I clicked on marketing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to edit.
It's all there. Files that I uploaded.
Okay. Then I would ask it. So it looks like the questionnaire is there for this person. Let me see.
Well, I did.
Okay.
I quit before I got weak. I don't have any conversations. 30 days.
The conversation starters are okay. So with this, I mean, if it's in there, that is a little odd. Let's take a little beat for a second and let me just ask you, ask it if it has can it answer your questionnaire responses? Like, does it have any knowledge of the questionnaire I uploaded? So we're just trying to check to see what is going on with one of these bots here. And then we'll go through this.
Yes, I can see and use Cindy Rack's questionnaire you uploaded.
Okay, so that's odd. So I would just try to prompt it again and just, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, there are glitches. I'm not going to deny that. All right, so we're going to jump back into this. We're going to look at this week by week. So for my questionnaire, I think if you may recall to the beginning, I had in there that I was a past counselor. I typically like to go for like calm, clear communication style. I did focus in the South Hills. So it's giving me week one. So it's kind of giving me a generalized idea, context that is going to be working around for this whole week. So the goal is to establish your teacher style clarity and hyperlocal vibe, plus no dumb questions energy, meaning that I'm obviously open to answer any questions for anyone, no matter how trivial or minor they may seem. It is giving me a cadence. It typically does that. It's telling me that there's 4 posts. There's going to be 1 video for that. Optional stories most days. So it's giving me on each day an optional story. All right. So let's look at day 1 here. The first thing is it is a carousel. This 5-step South Hills home buying game plan. It is a carousel. I do like that. It's giving me a little bit of an outline. It's giving me a hook. All right. But it is just giving me some basics. Now, I know that with just building carousels in the past, I'm going to have to ask it to give me a little bit more of an elaboration for what is included on each slide. So right now, it's just giving me an outline. So it's saying, get clear on monthly comfort zone, not just max approval. I'm going to ask it to give me a little extra context. There's something else going on. What's going on with your chatbot?
I have the same.
Okay.
So I retyped it in and I said.
No, it's going to be a little different.
Rack's questionnaire I uploaded.
Yeah. Is it still giving you an error, Cindy?
No, I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to sing that down.
So it seems like a couple of these bots are not connecting to the original uploaded questionnaire. And one way that no matter what, you can always post it back in. So literally copy and paste, and then it will inform it and it'll just learn off of that. Instead of having the document that it can keep referring to, you can literally just copy and paste. So if it does give you another issue, if it keeps hanging up, I would just do that because it's just going to learn it.
Yeah.
And then keep it in its memory. All right, so
GPT, they should be in there.
they should be in there, yes. They're going to be uploads on the bottom. And for those of you at home too, if you have an issue, I mean, just, hit the chat or unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. All right, so as I was saying before, this outline of this slide, I I'm going to need more context for this. This is not exactly what I want because we want this to be easy. I want this to be something that I can copy and paste into a Canva presentation or into a Canva carousel, and it will be easy for me to create instead of having to then use the headline, type in my own text. I want to just make it as streamlined as humanly possible. So I'm going to just do like a mental flag of that, of saying, okay, I know that I'm going to have to come back to this carousel in week 1 and ask it for more context. All right. So I'm going to keep skimming through here. I'm not really looking at the caption just yet, but I'm going to go to day 2. And day 2, it's telling me that it's only going to give me a story. It's not going to give me any type of post, which is okay. I mean, if we're sticking with the cadence of about 4 posts per week, that's okay. That's not necessarily bad. As you can see with stories, remember we told you that those are, 24 hours, those individual stories disappear. It's actually giving me 4 frames for a story. All right. So when you're posting the story, it's 4 individual stories that we're posting. And all of those are going to disappear within 24 hours at whatever time you posted them. All right. So the beauty of that, and I do like this, is that with this frame 1, it's telling me and prompting me of what am I working on today. So, taking a picture of yourself if you're showing homes, taking a picture of yourself if you're at a closing table, like any of the things that's going on with your business and you today, that would be frame number 1.
If you make it more than 24 hours, can you adopt it or adapt it? It would be like 36 hours.
No. So all of the stories, the question was, can it go longer than 24 hours? Every story is only 24 hours long. They just disappear. And it's just based on time. So if I posted at 12 o'clock noon, 24 hours, the next day, 12 o'clock noon, it's gone. If I posted at 1 p.m. the next day, it's gone.
Yeah.
All right. So it's in essence, it's ephemeral. So it disappears after a certain period of time. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you would at that point you would be creating a reel. You could post it as a story, but you'd be creating a video if you put all of those together instead of having chop by chop by chop by chop. Okay, good questions.
I get some from a person that's in Arizona, and frequently, because of the difference in time frame,
Mhm.
it's disappeared before I can see it.
Before you can see it, right, right. Yeah, I mean that it does happen. It's based on whatever your location is. Yeah. Now with this day 3, this is the first video that it's giving me. All right. And as we've said before, I think over time we want to stay away from like the traditional, quote unquote boring real estate stuff. But for week 1, and this is the first video, this is just one of the classics. It's a Mythbuster video. You need 20% down. It's giving me the length. It's telling me the hook, and it's giving me the main points that I'm going to articulate in that video. All right. So basic real estate stuff. I'm still okay with this. I know that I'm going to be making some changes to this week. And then let's go down to day 4. Here's another graphic. South Hills Community Reality, 3 quick things to consider before you pick a neighborhood. It's telling me what graphic text you can put on top of there. All right, so bridge tunnel patterns, school drop-off traffic, 15 minutes on maps does not equal 15 minutes at 8 a.m. Very simple stuff. All right, it's also giving me my caption. So when you're ready to post it, it already has that built in. All right. Let's go down to day 5, and I'm going to back all this back up after we get to day 7. I just want to go through it first. So day 5, it's telling me some more stories that I can post. This is one of those stickers, ask me anything. These are actually very good, and typically you'll get people who will respond to you. I think if it's about real estate, you're clearly limiting your response. But if it's about something like, remember we used the option of you went to a new restaurant, you post a picture of the restaurant in your stories, and you say, have you been to this restaurant? Or what do you think of this restaurant? You will get a good amount of responses. All right. So that is the way that I would do that instead of a real estate type of thing. All right. And then day 6, we have another carousel. So right now, I'm feeling that I'm way too carousel heavy. This is too much time I'm going to be spending in Canva, and I'm going to be, in essence, wasting my time. With the clients that we work with, we do no more than 2 carousels per week, and it's typically only 1 carousel per week because it is just very time consuming to create, and a lot of people don't click through it. So why would I expend all that energy for nothing? It actually would make more sense to just have a silent video with some text over top. I can create it in less than 5 minutes, and it'll probably get more views, clicks, responses, etc. All right. So the goal is, just not to spend too much time doing something if it's really not going to get you results, right? Our main business isn't graphic design.
Good question.
Yes.
So I uploaded my Cindy rack and everything, and did a beautiful one. And now I can't find it. And when I go under recents, I have two content creation things, 30 days. Neither one of them are after I uploaded I can't find it.
Very strange. So we have a question just about not being able to find the chat that you were in.
Yeah, because I had to go, I went into
went out.
edits. And when I said get rid of the edit and come back to the screen, it wiped it out. And then when I went back to try to find it under recents, it's not there.
Huh.
And it did it beautiful. It was beautiful.
On the left-hand side, if you look over at the screen, is there anything like this, your chats, that's hidden?
It says recent chats, content calendar, and 30-day content creation. So,
I mean, the most recent one will be the one you just edited or changed.
and it's not showing it based on uploading my stuff.
Okay, can we copy paste anything into it? Like, is it just stuck or is it?
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now, so we're at day 6. And day 6, again, we're doing another carousel. We want to eliminate these carousels. So I'm already feeling the overload of like this is too much work for not enough engagement at the end of this, just because I have the familiarity with that, right? But I mean, the ideas behind these carousels, they are pretty good. So weekend seller prep, 7 high impact things to do before photos. I mean, it's a good carousel. The theme of it's good. I think that it would work well. But I mean, again, I could film a 30-second video and list these things out and be done in a tenth of the time. Right. So I'm asking myself, like, okay, can I shift this and turn this into a video? Like, why would I want to do extra work? So I'm going to go down to this last day. And this is giving me an optional either to use a post or a story. I think really for most of this stuff, you should probably be doing both if it gives you an option, because the stories should be pretty easy to do. You're literally posting one quick thing. It's not meant to take so much time to create. So our option A, the post is the photo of a coffee shop, a walk, or a neutral South Hill scenery. The topic, Sunday reset, why I'm so big on these step-by-step plans. The caption, just some kind of short personal credibility tie-in, my counseling background, etc. No heavy details. And then the option B, stories, just recap some Q&A questions from before. So if any other thing dropped in, then you would repost that. All right. And then it's telling me some quick production notes. I can probably ignore that because I'm going to be minimizing my carousels. And then before I build week 2, so this is the last thing that it's prompting me. Tell me what you want changed in week 1. Do you want 3 posts per week or 4 posts a week consistently? More buyers, more sellers, they're balanced. And then 3, any specific lead magnet you already have. So whether it's a checklist, a guide, a vendor list, etc., or should I write them as DM me and I'll send it? All right. So this to me is already getting a little too far ahead of itself. So I'm going to go into our text prompt here and I'm going to say, we need to redo week 1. There are too many carousel posts. We want only 1 carousel per week. The other posts can be a talking head video. So that's literally just you talking into a camera, or a B-roll with a text overlay. So just text over top of a video, classic B-roll. And then, maybe I'll go ahead and answer this number 1 question here. Do you want 3 posts per week or 4 posts per week consistently? I'm going to say, let's do 4 posts per week. and we want a simple, if I know how to spell simple, story option per day. Okay, something very, very simple. So let's go ahead and hit enter for that. And let's see what our new response is. If it wants to work, mine is now frozen. Is anyone else's frozen? Okay, so I'm going to, so if it ever does freeze on you, it occasionally happens. I just copy what I wrote. All right, so I literally just copy what I wrote. And then I just go ahead and refresh the page. Sometimes it stays in there, sometimes it does not. So I copy it just in case I need to. And so you can see now our arrow send button's back. Let's go ahead and hit send. And now it's back in the chat. All right, so that was very fast. Got it. It's going to do a redo of week 1. I'm not going to go all the way through this. I'm just going to kind of quickly scan it just to stay on time here. It is giving me more talking heads. So our first video is going to be a talking head. Start here, my 3-question move plan, so you don't spiral, which is how I would like to frame a video. I think it's a good emotional trigger. It makes sense. Day 2, we have a B-roll with text overlay. So we're kind of taking that carousel post that it did for before. So like the coffee shop, a neighborhood drive, showing prep. One thing I do like to tell agents too is, those videos, I know like while you're driving, it is hard to do, but if you're in a neighborhood and you're doing like under 25, take your phone, hold it like this. You don't even have to look. Hold it like this and drive for a good 100 feet, right? You don't have to stare. Watch for the cops. You are. That's why, like, do a slow creep through a neighborhood. Because if you're going too fast, everything just looks blurry anyway. Or have your passengers do it. Yeah, like so your spouse, your kids. I mean, it does make sense. But all of those videos, I mean, you can use those ad nauseum, right? Because it's just homes in this area. You could use them again and again and again and again, and no one would ever know the difference, literally, right? So that would be something like I would do. I would just do like a neighborhood drive, and I would use that as the background for whatever this text is. So the text for this, South Hills move tip, 15 minutes away is not the same as 8 a.m. That would be the only text that's over top of that video of houses as you're driving by. All right. And our caption is just going to give more context to what that means. All right. Now, with this caption, I mean, I think it's okay. It's not bad. It is right to the point. So big picture, here's what this means. Commute patterns can change your whole day. Tell me where you commute to, downtown, South Point, blah, 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 blah. And I'll suggest a few areas that fit. Short, simple, to the point. You can expand on that to a full, detailed 5-paragraph essay if you want to, but short and sweet is usually the best way to go about this. All right. Now, day 3, we have our Mythbuster video back in there. Another talking head. We're going to scroll past that. We kind of already broke that down. On day 4, we're only doing stories for that day. Right. So it's just simple behind the scenes, a little slider sticker. All right. Day 5, we have another B-roll. So we do have more video. We're using some walkthrough clips of a living room. Maybe that's opening blinds, wiping counters, flowers on the table. Again, these are all things that you can easily film, or you can have someone film in your household you doing these things. They work very well, especially the open blinds. The amount of times that I've created a video where someone has literally mentioned opening the blinds before showing is astronomical. So filming one clip of you opening blinds in your own house and letting that light shine in, you could probably end up using that on multiple videos over the next few months or years, right? It's just a staple of like what you do in a showing. So it makes sense to be in a video, right? Now, with our day 6 here, we have our 1 carousel for this week. All right, so it's giving me open house mindset, how to tour a house like a pro without being annoying. Um, that's I also like that emotional trigger. I feel like most people are gonna, believe that they're being annoying if they're being too pryy, or just they're generally concerned with what they will be perceived as when they go to an open house. I like the way that is set up. It is giving me some slide outlines. All right, and then it's also giving me my caption. Now, what I would do here is when I get to the creation of this. So you'll see as we build this chatbot, I'm going to continue to use this specific chat. So let me show you what it's labeled as 30-day content plan. All right. I would keep using this bot to just build off of this over and over and over again. So if later on down the line, I want to get more context for this carousel, like just give me longer headlines or give me a better caption, I would still be using the exact same chatbot, right? We're not opening a brand new chat. We're staying in the same thing that's already been created. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay. All right. So our last day, we have another talking head or a B-roll. It gives us an option. But for me, like I'm much happier with this setup because it's video friendly. It's the main thing that we're doing. Nothing did seem for what it's presented so far to be out of reach. It is, simple edits, simple shots, nothing too crazy. It's not highly produced. And what I would do next is just get to the bottom here. Let's see what it's asking. So it's saying, if you want, I can also add exact shot lists, what to film for each B-roll, and teleprompter style scripts for the talking head videos. When you reply, tell me, do you prefer talking head videos to feel more 30 seconds punchy or 45 or 60 seconds teacher style? This, again, is asking me to go too far ahead of how I like to work. Right? So it's asking me to get more detail about this week instead of giving me the overall plan. I don't. And it's going to throw you off of that. It's because it always tries to just follow up with the granular of like what you're trying to focus on. What I want for this right now and how I would suggest for all of you is like get your full 30-day plan. Then, because it is a magic machine, it remembers every single thing in that gigantic 30-day plan. And then you can ask it, I need 30-second scripts for each of these talking head videos from every single video over these 30 days. And it will give you the scripts in one document for all of them, instead of giving you one or two for this week. And then now you're asking it for week two, and it's giving you one or two. Do you see what I mean? Just like the workflow of that. We're really trying to just create the content calendar first, and then we tease out whatever we need to over time, whether that's the captions or the carousels or the scripts or eventually the emails. This is what we're going to get into next week. We just want to keep yourself like focused on the task, which is creating the 30-day content calendar. But this thing likes to throw you off, and it likes to show you all the amazing things that it can do for you. It just will start jumbling everything up in your brain, and it'll be a nightmare because now you're trying to literally piece together a 30-day content plan, right? And it's interrupted it 5 million times. All right, so we're just going to stay focused and say.
But you did do that first one. You said I only want 4 posts. I want less carousels, so that as it goes through the rest of the 4 weeks.
Yep. So now what I'm asking it is like, okay, show me week 2. Simple.
So you said only 4 posts per week,
Yes.
1 carousel.
Yes. And I think that was just based off of what I answered in my questionnaire.
Did you show how to do a carousel at one of the 2 classes that I missed?
No, I did not show how to do carousel. That was all inside of Canva. It is against my being to show people how to do that because I generally feel like it's overused. And I feel like it is, for most people, like a giant waste of time. It is a time sucker like nothing else. It just doesn't.
Carousels at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are already familiar with Canva. So like, it's not, if I'm doing one a week, it's not that bad. But if you have no familiarity with Canva, don't learn it. Like save yourself the aggravation and save yourself the time, because it is a time suck, seriously, like nothing else. Right. As a marketer / graphic designer, it is boy, oh boy. All right, so it is generated our week 2. Now this one, just for the sake of time, I'm going to go through just a little faster. I'm going to just make sure that we're mainly focused on video. I'm not too concerned, just again, for the sake of this class, with the content it's providing. I just want to show you the overall workflow. All right, so we got day 8 here, which is Monday. We have another talking head video. On Tuesday, that's our story only day, so there is no post. On Wednesday, it's prompting me to do a B-roll post. That's day 10. And again, this is one of those like you at a laptop, you buy a calendar, another neighborhood drive, right? Simple stuff. It's talking about the rates without mentioning the actual rates. It's just explaining here's 3 things that you actually can control, right? So if you can't control the rate, you can control the purchase price and the offer strategy, your monthly payment comfort zone, and then obviously having a plan B if things are just looking a little too expensive. All right. On day 11, we have another talking head. So inspection, what it is and what it isn't. I do like the hook of it not being a pass-fail test. I think that's always great because most buyers do think it is literally like, I failed my inspection. When we bought our house, I remember my father-in-law literally being like, this looks like you failed an inspection. I was like, it's not. Like it's not, okay? It's not. But that's just the common perception. So
Not take that as a personal affront. It's
uh
proper perspective.
with my father-in-law,
Yeah.
well, he is a Vietnam veteran. He has a ice cold, like ice blue stare, like 1,000-yard stare.
That type.
Engineering head, yes. But I am the only person out of even his own children that can actually make him laugh. So that is like I'm with him and me, like we're cool as a cucumber. Like, yeah, it's pretty fun. But of course, my significant other and her siblings are like insanely jealous. Like we go fishing and like he like just talks to me like oh blah, 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 and like gives me all these crazy stories and like I'll tell my tell my spouse or tell them and they're just like I never heard that story. And I'm like yeah okay so we're like best buds. It's pretty funny. But the idea is that with any of these things, you want to dispel some myths. And the inspection myth it's a big one, right? So that I mean, I'm very happy with a video like that. Even just a simple talking head video, it makes sense. All right. Our day 12 here, another story only day. I'm still happy with how this is shaking out. And on Saturday, day 13, we have our one carousel of the week. All right, offer terms that matter besides price. You can see there's a lot of these, besides price. So these kind of emotional triggers. So it would be a little bit more boring if all you had on your carousel is offer terms that matter. This additional beyond price or besides price is the thing that's really going to drive someone to click on it. Right? So you're trying to grab the emotionality behind what they're thinking, and then that's what has them scroll through the rest of the post, not just a boring, here's offer terms that matter. All right. Okay, so we have day 14, another B-roll, calm neighborhood shots, again, just like a park or, a coffee shop, a streetscape, anything. Really, as we've said a dozen times, if not maybe hundreds of times so far, the simple stuff wins. And honestly, like the drive-by shot, if you walk dogs, like taking a little video of you walking your dog through your neighborhood, like those are great videos. And like that is all you really need. You don't need a highly produced video. You really don't, right? Sometimes they look nice if they're edited well, but like you don't really need it anymore. So something simple, something smart, something that's pertinent to an overall area, those things work. All right, now it's going to give me a last little prompt to ask me what I want for the next couple weeks. It's asking me, do I want to change my calls to action? Maybe do like the lead magnet stuff. Like if you comment guide, I'll send you my guide. For just the sake of this class, I'm going to actually tell it right now that I want all my CTAs should be simple and prompt calls to action. Prompt the viewer to DM me. All right, so we're not trying to give everyone our lead magnet by commenting guide and you get my community guide or my buyer guide. You do, and it's going to naturally give you a whole bunch of things. So what I would do is if it's giving you too much, like if it's like comment calm, and I'll give you my blah 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 blah
Plan.
DM plan, I would ask it to eliminate that.
Okay.
So just tell it, either just like literally like I'm doing right here, all my CTA should be simple and just prompt the viewer to DM me. Right. And most of us don't have a lot of these random lead magnets. We might have a buyer guide, we might have a seller guide, and that's it.
Right.
Right.
And then you have these plans for all these different things.
Right. And it's going to do that naturally.
Competition's gonna get.
Yes, I do agree, because that's usually how I get my ideas for
Yeah.
my stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I just think that it's
Public.
it is overload for the public. And I think it's overload, if you're constantly asking people to do something, they're going to retreat. So like asking someone just to like start a conversation with you, it's soft enough where you can kind of just, hey, like give me a DM. Like just it's an open invitation, but no pressure. If you're literally telling someone on every single post to download my guide, that's too much. It's not conversational at that point. It's obviously salesy. There's a hook because the general public knows that if I get something for free, I'm giving up something. I'm giving you my phone number. I'm giving you my
Right.
email. Like I'm giving you something. They're not dummies anymore. It's not like oh, okay, I'll get this. They know because they've been opted into 10,000 other things that same day.
Right.
Right. So we want to just be a little bit different. We want to just be, a human being. We want to create a conversation and a starting point from that. It's up to the salesperson to be able to take that little like conversation and spin it into something down the line. Right. Now, I'm okay with this. I told it that it needs to have CTAs that are just simple, and not prompt any crazy keywording or anything like that. It is asking me if I want to change my topics a little bit. I'm
To fix it. Now it's doing it on everyone. DME plan, DME match, DME. I said that.
just say like remove the keyword trigger call to action, and literally put in quotes. DM me if you blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Right.
Remove the call to action.
Remove the call to action. So we had someone that essentially they told it to change the CTA, and then it just changed the CTA for every single one of them to be plan, in essence, or just simplify it. So it gave them the wrong response, basically.
Right, right.
You don't want to say remove the CTA completely.
Right. We want to have a CTA in there. Right.
But it's telling everyone, like I just put
I don't know
in.
if you guys can hear this now.
Everyone. Now, everyone, it's like DM me, want the budget template? DM me budget. Want this? DM me every single one.
All right. Then I would say remove the CTA from every single thing. Because mentally,
I want them to DM you.
I do, but I know that this is just to like cut through. I know, like, that you're at the end of a video, you're going to say, send me a DM if you want to talk.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and then even in our scripting, we can change the scripting later. I think just with the general workflow, like if you need to cut something, cut something. The idea for building your plan is to not have it super, super precise, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do next, and you're going to see what it's going to look like. And it'll get even more confusing if it's crazy with having a whole bunch of DMs that are not simple. All right, and I'll show you why. Now, I'm asking it to do, again, with me, all my DMs or all my CTAs should be simple and prompt the viewer to DM me. And I'm going to do an extra step without a keyword, right? Just to be on the safe side. So it's keywording, like it's trying to keyword that instead of like just DM me, period, stop, right? I'm happy with the results so far. I'm nice to it. You don't have to be nice to it. Can you generate the additional 2 weeks? And can you create a spreadsheet with our content calendar in it? This should take a little while. So maybe a minute or so. If it's faster than that, I'll be very surprised. And I think I had shown you what our content calendars look like. Did I show you all that when they're generated? All right. So I'll show you, and I can share a sample of one. So you can have a template that you can also upload into that and say like, hey, when you generate a content calendar for me, I want it to look like this. That is very helpful. All right. This is what my content calendar looks like.
And so it's just in Excel.
It's in, I do mine in Google Sheets. All right. This is so my client can also see it. So it's not like we're passing a document back and forth. They just log in and they can see it where it's at. Right. Internally, I mean, mentally, I know what my little color coding is. So I know that my green color coding is a talking head style video. So you can see format video. My blue is a Canva carousel. My purplish is a B-roll style video. So I can look at this within the week and be like, okay, this is how I need to set this thing up. All right. Now, what it typically does is it gives me, you know, obviously the platforms that we're on, the date, formatting, the topic, you know, maybe the asset that's needed if it's just something that's like a B-roll that's a little vague. It gives me some story ideas every day. Sometimes I follow those, sometimes I don't. It just depends. It at least gives me something where I know I can like go for and trigger. Right. But what I added is right here, and these are drop downs. So I just can stay consistent. So I have, it says story created, scheduled, and posted. Right.
So how did it know that you have these colors? Like, you know,
I had to add the colors later. It can do that. So it can set up the color coding if you do that. I'm a little bit of a control freak. So like I don't want it to set up like bright reds or bright yellows or whatever. I've attempted to have it do everything and I ended up not liking the color result, so I had to change it anyway.
it's already created and not the one that we just did.
So everything other than the coloring, yes, this is one that's already been created. All right. But what I've done is because I've created, I mean, I've been creating calendars for years at this point, but I've taken how I like the calendar to be set up and I've just taken a blank one. Right. So I've removed the actual agent's information from it and I've uploaded that calendar to the bot. So if you were my client, I would have I would have your questionnaire in there, but I would also have a template of the calendar. And then when I ask for a content calendar, it already knows exactly how I want it formatted, exactly how I want it set up. And then it just substitutes whatever the information is for that specific day in that specific day. All right. So after this class, I'm going to send you a template of a calendar. So then you can also upload it into that and get what you need out of it. All right. Now let's go back to our chatbot and see, I told you it's going to take a little while because it needs to be able to generate the 2 weeks and then at the same time, generate an actual document. All right. So this is just the hanging moment where we're just kind of breaking down and either we're going to be able to get this out in another 2 minutes, or we're going to have to just take a solid break and we're going to go through these content calendars just to show you through some other examples. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to another content calendar. Yep. So this is another calendar that I have, and you can see, obviously we have the color coding similar to that. All right. What I like to do, and I mean, they're all set up in essence the same. I don't usually have anything different. We have the story creation, we have all that other stuff. But what I like to do too is that, occasionally if I find like a story in here, so if I'm on, whatever, February 15th, let's go down towards the bottom here. So today is we're already in a new calendar. I had some overlay with some of their videos. So as of tomorrow, I'll be going through and creating a whole new calendar for them. Right. When you're doing your own thing, what I would suggest is categorizing some of the video clips you get. So whether it's just like mental notes or literally creating folders in a Google Drive and then uploading things to a Google Drive. If you're getting a whole bunch of shots of neighborhood drive-bys, dump all of them.
B-roll file.
Yep. And categorize it. Right. So if you're working 3 different market areas, you would have like an Upper St. Clair, a Mount Lebanon, and Bethel Park. And then inside of those, you would have parks, streets, whatever, restaurants, schools, however you want to categorize it. Right. Because what you can do is as you continue to build these, really the first one that you generate is it's going to be a calendar that gives you what you need to know. But you can get pretty granular with like, I have all of these assets. Here are all of the types of videos that I have. Pair what I already have with these new topics that you're generating for these 30 days.
Wait, you can ask ChatGPT to do that.
Yes, but that's why you're categorizing it.
Then you have to upload it to ChatGPT.
You don't have to upload the file. So if you know that like I have 7 video clips of me driving through Bethel Park, I'm telling it when I'm creating my calendar, I have 7 clips of me driving through Bethel Park. I've got 3 clips of me at a park in South Park, and then tell it to what it's going to use. And then it's going to match, use one of your clips, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like it'll try to match whatever it needs to. Because it knows the context of where you're talking about. It knows from your questionnaire, the areas that you're focusing on. Like it has all that stuff layered into there. So over time, after doing this for 30 days, 60 days, and kind of just getting a rhythm of this, you can really get very specific with it and get a content calendar that is 100% precise. Like exactly paired to what you already have, exactly paired to what you're trying to do, and not, even like the myth 20% down thing. Like that's a generic real estate thing. That's not specific to me. That's just a generic mythbuster kind of thing, right? Over time, and as you continue to build these, let's go check in. Let's see if it's rendered. Okay. So it's rendered something. But over time, I'm going to, as I've had, like I have clients on here that I've been working with for 2 years. So they've had a project or a custom bot for 2 years. So the amount of information that this thing knows about them just vicariously, because I've been dropping things in for so long, like it pairs the exact shots that I need for things 100% of the time. Like it knows. And for the person I'm talking about, they're up in Butler. So that is a hour drive for me to go film stuff for them. I need to go up there prepared for like, okay, I'm going to be here for 6 hours. We're going to film our stuff where you're talking into my camera. We're going and filming around the area. But I also have a shot list that I generate from ChatGPT that's like, film this place, this place, this place, get this street, do these things, get this. Like it's telling me exactly what I need to do. So I'm not going up there wasting my time just taking some random video of, downtown Butler or whatever. And it's telling me specifically, like, this is what our content's going to be over the next 30 days. And here's the specific B-roll shots that you need to get. So my time is maximized while I'm up there and I'm not missing something or then having to ask them to go like, hey, can you go out and film something extra? If they give me stuff, great. But like, I'm not counting on it because what if I really need that? And now like, they're like, oops, sorry, I couldn't get it. I'm busy. Now my calendar is starting to back up because I don't have stuff I need to create what I need to create. Right. So just the problems that can unravel, especially if obviously you're working with a marketing company versus doing it yourself. Right. There's a little bit of a difference there. But let's go through here for a second. We got about 5 minutes left.
So, gotta ask you a question.
Yes.
So obviously takes time.
Yes.
That are busy. How do you do this?
All right. So the question is very direct, and it's like, how does an agent do all of these things? Right. That's in essence. What I would say is first and foremost, you have to define how much time you have per week. All right. So how much ballpark extra time do you have per week? Would you say like, do you have like an hour?
Maybe.
Okay. So if you had an hour and only 1 hour, what do you think would be the best way to use that hour?
Probably create a couple videos.
And then what would be the best use case? Like what type of video would you create in only if you have literally 1 hour?
And educational, informative.
Yep. The answers here for some of you, you might not have heard, but in essence, the idea is if you only have 1 hour per week, you would be creating video of you talking directly into a camera, your phone. It would be educational in nature. Doesn't have to be like very specific, but educational, informative in nature. You should be able to knock out 5 videos in under 20 minutes. Right? I mean, because if you're just literally just talking.
Oh, that's part.
This
You
is
know what I mean?
ChatGPT is going to do it for you.
But ChatGPT can give you a script that you can literally read off of. I mean, you can use the teleprompter app on your phone. But I would say, for like I know there may be the hesitation, like when the lights turn on and the camera starts recording, and you're kind of like, bah! Like that's a natural reaction of just kind of like the panic that ensues. But you know what you're talking about. And you don't need a script. If you're a newer agent, like you need a script. Just because you're either going to say the wrong thing or you're going to say something incorrectly or you're just going to miss a giant part of whatever that might be. And it's not really anyone that's been in the business for even, I would say, over 5 years, but definitely over, 8 to 10 years, you at a gut level know what to say because you met with enough people and been in enough homes when they ask you some random oddball question and you're like, whoop. I'm like, you think on your feet, you give them the right answer, and then you usually leave a little bit of wiggle room to be like, but that depends. So like we got to just go through this and like figure out how this is gonna work. But this is typically how it works. Like how to work that. It's the exact same thing. If you only had an hour and this thing gave you, 5 carousels, it would take you an hour to do one. So like you're missing all the moments. Yep. Yep. And if you only had an hour, I would, if I was an experienced agent, I would find an agent who is relatively inexperienced and I would hire them at a nominal fee per month, per hour, per day to post these things for you or to assist you in some way as a marketing whatever. The savviest of newer agents will jump at that opportunity, right? They're not any real official team member of yours or whatever. Obviously, if you're kind, you'll throw them a lead every so often. But like you settle on a price, they'll probably be like, sure. They'll probably show you things, especially if they're younger, that like you have no idea that was even out there. Right. And they'll just do that naturally because they kind of are more in touch with what's going on. Right. So you need the 1 hour for you to film the videos, hire out the rest. A younger person in their 20s or 30s could edit any one of the videos you film in less than 5 minutes because they're just already familiar with it. Right. So even if you're paying by the hour and you're doing $15 an hour, you're probably going to pay them $15 to $30. Like for you to have all of your time and you have some stuff that you can post, like $30 a week is nothing.
Right.
For getting that like peace of mind and also just being present. Right.
1,000.
So,
But you do everything.
but I do literally
You
everything.
do everything.
It's not just the video.
Vegas.
Yeah, no. Well, even just like pricing, it's taken a long time for me to establish that. And then also, I mean, realistically, if I actually break down my dollar per hour, like not making a lot of money
No,
compared to,
I had it, I would do it. Second.
yeah, it's a, how do I say this? I have a system that I can work with that like now I know how this works. But for many, many years, it was like I was treating everyone so differently that like one person I could be able to get all their stuff done in a small period of time and like everything was streamlined. And the next person would come through and it would be like,
Right.
And I'm all over the place
Right.
just because they're throwing me a different thing. Like it's just no idea. So for your own personal benefit, like if you only had an hour, set up a system. On Mondays, I'm going to take my hour and I'm going to film my 5 videos. And then I'm going to give it to Ashley. I'm going to pay her $30 and she's going to edit them on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then by Thursday, I have my videos back. We're happy. Or they're posted or however you set it up, right? So like keep your system moving, right? And you really only need an hour to film yourself. Right?
Teleprompter on your phone?
Yes. So on things like CapCut and also on Instagram edits, there's a teleprompter feature. All right. So inside, if you open up CapCut on your phone, you're going to look at the tool section. Let me see. I'm doing it right now. So for those of you at home, I'm just looking at my CapCut. All right. So when you open up, I'm on CapCut on my phone, and when you first open it up on the left-hand corner, it says Edit. It has a little pair of scissors, right? And if you scroll down to the bottom of that, there is a function that says teleprompter. So you have a teleprompter built into CapCut that you would just copy and paste your script. When you look into the camera and you hit record, it just reads the teleprompter. And you just read the teleprompter, right? Which is how a lot of people do their videos, right? And even though they seem like they're just like winging it, they're reading it, right? So that is super effective as well. All right, so very last thing here, let me show you the content calendar that it generated. And then you can see after we open up the spreadsheet, if you want next, I can turn this into a caption sheet, a video script sheet, a shot list sheet. If I'm happy with this calendar, failed to download file. Hold on a second.
Question, could
Yes.
these, this that's been on the screen.
Yep.
Be included with the,
Yeah, you'll get a full replay. Yep. Yeah, no, I think everyone will.
so it's capturing what you put on the hard screen.
Yes. All right, for some reason, I think it's because I took too long. All right, and it's trying to give me this whole long CSV. Yeah, this is actually not that difficult. You can literally copy and paste it. I cannot copy and paste. Sometimes you do have to force it, and sometimes you can't. And you have to just come back to it and ask it to do it again a couple hours later, which is unfortunate. And the only reason why that happened is because I wasn't on it. It only keeps it for a couple minutes and then it kind of buries the file, right? You'll have to generate it again. So say if you need to download the file again and it's been a couple days, you'll go to download it and it'll give you a failed to download or cannot find file. And then you basically have to ask it to redo it again.
Now it's giving you another copy.
It's giving me another copy. It is slightly different. Now, I'm not going to go deep into this, but it's giving me the text that would go inside of there instead of the actual file. But what you can do is hit copy, just in case if this has ever happened. You go up, you open up a Google Sheets. You select the entire spreadsheet. Oop. You paste it in. And then you split the data. So you can see between all of this, there's a comma, comma, comma. So you go up to format, or sorry, data. And you go to split text to columns. and it split the text to columns. Right? That's just classic spreadsheet stuff. It's not going to do that every time, but it will occasionally do that. Right? I'm not going to deny it. So I definitely had to learn how to do that. Right? But then it's giving me all the stuff that we need. And remember, I'm going to give you a copy of a template. So it's going to give you actually what I do. And then that's something you would upload into your bot. So then it'll give you exactly what you need without having to go crazy. It should actually generate a CSV for you. If it does give you a problem, obviously try that trick that I just showed you. But if not, just call me. We can hop on a Zoom or something like that. Okay. Okay. Feeling good? Feeling confused. It does make sense. I get it.
Glad we have all these videos, even that's all that, because I'm gonna go through it
Yeah, they're gonna stay on forever. And
numerous times.
after next class, here, let me stop this screen share.
So much.
All right, thanks for hanging out, everyone.
How many more classes do we have left?
We have one.
One.
Thursday.
All right, we'll see you later. Yes, Thursday.